I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Everything that Tim Walz, the Democratic nominee, just stated is a complete and total lie and demonstrates where the Democrats desire to take our republic to. They want us akin to England, where they get to decide what is misinformation, what is disinformation, what is hate speech. If you're on their side, of course, they're going to allow it. The same way that they are using the Department of Justice in a weaponized form to go after their adversaries. This would be more than an arrow in their quiver. This would be a submachine gun that they would use to take out ideas that go against the regime, exactly as they are doing in England right now. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but a man was convicted of a machete murder, and after 6 months is being let out in England so they can make room for people who posted on social media statements that the government does not approve of. Just warning people of the riots, the government will come down, and it is considered an offense for just stating this. They are completely regulating speech in England because they're labeling it disinformation, misinformation, hate speech. The same thing that Tim Walz is doing here. They want to turn America into England. They want full control over us. They believe that they are the ones who can fairly adjudicate what is hate speech. But they can't. They can't adjudicate what's misinformation, because if you had said, after 51 former intelligence officials stated that the Hunter Biden laptop had all the earmarks of Russian disinformation, and you confronted that, they could say that you're committing misinformation. This is not the nation that I will live in. I will not live in such a country, because we're all going to go to jail, because they are just going to tell you what is an approved of talking point, and unless you conform exactly to that, off to jail with ye, laddie. Everything that Tim Walz said is communism in motion. It's not fully in action yet. They don't have these laws passed. They have not successfully able to take a sledgehammer to the First Amendment. They're chiseling away at it. They're doing everything they can, and thank God for Elon Musk, because otherwise, in Great Britain, all these people would have no avenue to speak out against the public officials. This is the sad state of affairs that our world has gotten to, that in the English-speaking world, we're not talking about some Muslim theocracy like Iran, that you can be imprisoned for stating something that is not the approved of narrative of the government. And that's not what we want in the United States. And so all of you who are on the fence about voting for the Democrats, what Tim Walz stated is the direction that they want America to go. The same thing that he did with trans youth. Do you want your 12-year-old child who is confused to be encouraged to transition because they're having some mental difficulties that can be overcome? They want the permanent chop your genitals off. And Tim Walz stated that we're going to take your kids away from you unless you agree to have them transition. This has been passed into law. And now he wants to do this with the First Amendment. He wants to take your right to speak away. They want a totalitarian police state. And I do not want our country going in the direction of Great Britain. So again, I beg all of you people who have a semblance of a thought, I'm not sure if I'm voting for installed cackling Kamala and communist Tim Walz. They want to be able to stifle your speech. They want to be able to decide what is correct. What is hate speech? Is it hate speech to say that men aren't women? That would be considered hate speech guaranteed under this administration. And we will pay the price with our freedoms, which is the one thing that we've been managed as the United States to be able to unearth, using English common law as our precedent, and to be able to inform the rest of the world that these rights do exist and they must be protected. And that means voting against this communist far left ticket that the Democrats are trying to install upon us, where Kamala hasn't even gotten a single delegate that she won properly. It's a coup. Kamala, please vote against the Dems. Protect free speech. It's the most important freedom that we have. Peace.